Not recently.
Okay, sorry, I just thought I saw your
No.
microphone.
No, all
Are
good.
our good berries expired?
Yeah, I think they last
Yeah,
24 hours.
yeah, 24 hours.
Okay, so I didn't read Laurel's recap, but generally speaking, you guys last time sort of wandered into the giant stronghold in Kelvin's Cairn and fought your way past the guards at the entry, making your way into the main chamber where you moved on to the armory and found a figure there who appeared to be held captive. And upon figuring out that the frost giants in that main room were killed, he walked past you, leaving. And you exchanged some words. Varel did, using his wizard magic to be able to communicate, speaking in giant. And then he went on his way, and then you guys went into the main chamber of the giant's room and began to speak with the frost giant king, and decided that he was too much to fight. So you made a deal with him that you would give him back the treasure that you had found outside of his basically the mountain, and he would agree not to attack Bryn Shander. And you guys left and decided to, even in your weakened state, make a half-day's journey across the Icewind Dale to back towards Bryn Shander, and you ran into some Remorazes who ambushed you in the river, or the valley, after some bad rolls, and you guys got into a pretty brutal fight where you were many of you were subjected to water, cold, frozen water, and hypothermia, and you are now recovering in Varel's Tower, just at the outskirts of the Dwarven Valley. And that is where we pick up. I'll say it's morning now that you have got a long rest in. You guys wake up. Varel's Tower is still up, and you can look out the window and see that it is still snowing, and but the sun has risen and it is getting brighter outside.
Has the lake frozen over again?
Yeah, let's say in the middle of the night, the waters began to refreeze and form a not entirely thick layer, but at least a layer of ice that you can visibly see and walk around if need be.
Did folks heal up a thing of Exhaustion, or does that not work with the tower?
It does work with the tower, we're saying now.
Nice. Is everyone still on board with going to Kuldahar?
I'm
That
ready.
seems the best course of action.
All right.
How do you? Right?
Hmm?
You is alright with it.
Of course. I think it would be good for us to get some rest.
Yeah. Alright.
And she will gather everyone together.
Boom! What's it look like when Isolde casts Word of Recall.
I would imagine she just kind of stands in the middle of the 5 of them and closes her eyes, and her lips move like she's praying, but she's not really saying anything out loud. And an aura around her gets brighter and brighter until it swallows the whole group, and then they blink out and
And
appear elsewhere.
and your Word of Recall is set to the sacred roots of Kuldar, right?
Correct.
Oh, okay. Let me just prepare that scene. 6. I think that's it. Okay. And you guys bamf into a familiar setting. The roots of Kuldahar are sort of glowing with this sort of eternal ethereal water dancing off of the bottom, though it is not actual water. It's sort of this strange mist that you cannot really identify. And in the middle of the room, you see a familiar face as Hannah looks up and smiles at all of you.
Sorry to come by unannounced. She'll like kind of give like a little nod to Hannah.
She smiles.
Are things getting back to normal here?
She nods.
All right. I think we will go and find Mel then. Is there anything about this room that looks different than when we were here before?
No, it looks just like when you guys last came. Everything's sort of untouched by time. And you guys are going to find Mel?
Yeah, I would assume we would need to like let someone know that we were here and try to get accommodations and or assistance with healing quickly.
Oh, okay. Well, if you go into the next room, which I haven't actually prepared since the last time you fought in it, so it's got a bunch of dead orcs in it, you would find the dryads fast at work, sort of repairing and putting things together, making renovations back to restore the sort of sanctity of this underground temple area. And they would happily set to treating your wounds and giving you a place to rest.
Nice.
Laura,
Is
your
Mel
mic is
among them?
picking up your breath a little bit.
Okay, I'll mute it when I'm not talking.
It's fine. I was just letting you know. And
Is Mel among them?
he's not in that room, but when you ask him or ask them about his location, they mention that he is outside. Do you go outside to see him?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys step out into the, once again, sort of beautifully restored front to the temple. Already the air is sort of lighter and filled with more positive energy as you feel sort of at peace in this Zen environment. And sort of sitting on the steps with his bow kind of at the ready is Mel, sort of looking forward.
How have things been since we saw you last?
Well, you haven't been gone long. but things are returning to normal here.
Good.
He sort of looks over the group and says, "You look, well, terrible. How are things in Bryn Shander?"
Pretty terrible. We haven't yet gotten to the point that we are hoping to get to. Things were a bit more complicated than we had assumed.
He nods knowingly.
We are here hoping for some help. A number of us really need some quick recuperation if we're going to go and address the issues in Bryn Shander soon.
He sort of looks back at you and says, "Well, spending time in the roots of the tree should heal you rather quickly, but it's not instantaneous."
Of course. It's just nice to be in a safe place, and one that is not so cold.
Yes, my father always loved this place.
Varel would kind of look around and puzzle over like what's keeping this place so rich and lush and restorative. Given the history of the Mythalar that led the tree to grow, but that it's no longer here, kind of curious, what's sustaining this place.
Yeah, make a Arcana check. Yeah, with that, you notice that the tree sort of looks like, sort of if you investigate the bark of these roots, you find that the tree does seem to be freezing a little bit. Like it is getting a little colder here, and with that you sort of also notice that it is a few degrees cooler here than the last time you stepped foot here.
Interesting. Varel would walk back to Mel and say, you mentioned this place is getting back to normal. What is normal for a place like this?
Well, it is a holy site, and this is a place for people to come in times of need. It's also a place of great learning for druids, so many will come here in the future.
You expect these pilgrimages to continue?
When the war dies down in the south, yes.
Varel will nod and kind of look at Vosner to see if Vosner's up to anything, given that this is a druid sanctuary.
Vosner's kind of looking around. He's sort of, I haven't moved him back there, but sort of hanging in the back of the group and looking like he's gonna peel off and go hang out with the druids. But he just looks like he's more at ease.
Yeah, this place, even the ground, like the stone that you walk on, there's like a film of moss that has started to like form up now that the corruption has sort of gone away, and it like feels nice when you step on it, like being growing up in the forest.
He's just smiling, looking happy. And he'll stay and go. Well, I'm going to hang out with the druids. Let me know when we're about to head out. There are some things I want to explore. And he'll kind of go back inside.
Okay, we'll get to that scene, I guess, when we finish up here.
Cool.
Mel sort of turns to you and says, "Well, what's your next step?"
We are hoping to return to Bryn Shander after some rest and make moves on the leadership there.
And your plan is just to find the leader of the city and destroy them?
If it is possible, I would rather help evacuate citizens first before conflict arises, but I'm not sure how easy that will be.
He sort of squints his eyes and says, "That's curious, because last time we spoke, I thought you were trying to defend Bryn Shander and their leaders."
It is, as I said, a complicated situation. I was under the impression that there were a number of external threats, as well as the internal one that I was aware of. The goal has always been to keep the citizens safe, but it turned out that at least the barbarian threat was, not really a threat. They were trying to also evacuate the citizens, not raid the town. The threat from the giants, however, was a legitimate threat, and now that both of those things are somewhat handled, the focus is on internal things.
It sounds complex indeed. Have you thought about killing the Ancient White?
Taryn will chime in here and say, we have severed her alliance with the giants, so we are one step closer to facing her, but we don't know how ready we are yet.
Severed their alliance? How so?
Destroying the giants' army and coming to an agreement with the leadership to no longer work with her.
You killed the Frost Giants' army and spoke with the king?
Taryn nods. Or at least much of the army.
And you did this all in the heart of the mountain?
Taryn nods again.
That's an impressive feat. I can see now why you're so, well, beat up.
It was no easy task.
Indeed. Very well. That is good news. Without giants, the Ancient White is, well, rather isolated. I imagine she's just sitting in that lair of hers waiting for us to strike.
I imagine so.
You believe she expects us?
Well, I think we should assume that she does. Oh, did you guys all disconnect?
Yep.
Yeah.
Weird.
Now we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
I don't know what that was.
Spectrum, man.
I just saw all of you blip off the players thing. Wow. Anyways, he said he would think it's smart to believe that she is.
Do you think time is of the essence? Or is she as prepared as she'll ever be, so rushing it won't gain us an advantage?
Well, rushing into a fight with an ancient in their lair is never advisable. But there is something to be said about not giving her more time to form a new plan or make more alliances. Though, in all honesty, usually white dragons aren't known for being, well, smart. It is peculiar that Arathator was so, well, able.
Do you think there might be someone else behind this orchestrating the white dragons?
Well, unless you have some way of explaining why a white dragon is so intelligent, perhaps.
Mel, there was a mysterious forge master kept in prison by the frost giants. Do you know anything of such forge masters?
What did he look like?
Huge and armored in what seemed to be magma.
Well, frost giants don't tend to be armored. That there have been a few recently is curious development. But armored in magma is also strange. Frost giants are not particularly fond of fire. In fact, they fear it.
I do not believe it was a frost giant that we encountered.
Yes, this entity claimed to be a prisoner of the frost giants, who took flight rather quickly when we informed him that they were diminished in their strength.
Ah, then perhaps a fire giant captured by them. Put to work, as they are known for being capable in smithing.
Terran nods and then says, sorry, he asks
Bless you.
Mel, thank you. He says, we met someone who claimed that Beatrice was looking for a rider. Do you think it's possible that she's found one? And that they are the one orchestrating this?
Who would have told you this?
Terran kind of glances at Isolde to see if she wants to take over or if I should keep going.
Who did tell us that?
It was
Morven, yeah.
Oh. She'll nod at you to continue.
Okay. A wizard named Zamorvin from near Silver Moon was captured by her and managed to barely escape, and he told us that that is why she kidnapped him.
Well, when Mel and I showed up, when Hannah and I showed up to Tourmaline, it seemed like the dragon's sole interest was in capturing Varel over there, so perhaps he's been rounding up wizards for her. And if he has rounded up a fair number of them, then perhaps she does have a new rider. It would be impossible to know without finding her. If she does have a powerful wizard ally, that could prove very dangerous for us.
The last thing that we knew about Zymorphin was that he was headed towards a ruined city named Ythrin. Have you heard of it?
I have heard whispers of it, but I have never laid eyes on it. It is a sort of legend up here among those who seek treasure.
Is there anyone that seems to be the source of these rumors that might know how to find it?
Not that I know of. I'm pretty sure I've only heard rumors of rumors. But I could ask around.
Please do. I I think it holds some sort of a key to a couple things that are of interest to us, including fighting Arviatrix.
Damon hesitates for a moment and then asks, well, does the name Aureus hold any weight for you?
I've never heard of it. Are
Damon
they
looks
a
like,
friend of
honestly, a
yours?
little relieved. I would say acquaintance. And then I'll fall silent.
Okay. If you guys don't have any more questions for Mel, we can skip to Vosner's.
Sounds good.
Okay. Vosner, you walk back into the temple and find the dryads sort of hard at work. The younger dryads seem to not ignore you, but they seem busy enough that they are kind of moving around you. And but they kind of nod at you kindly, and you find the Enclave druid, the High Dryad. Pull out his thing, and he holds up a hand, sort of gesturing a greeting at you.
Awesome. Well, he'll approach, and he said, he'll say, "Is there anything I can do to help with you all? This seems to be the most comfortable place that I could do anything helpful in."
He sort of acknowledges that and says, "Your powers are indeed impressive, and your connection to nature is deep, but we are fine."
I was wondering if I can't help, then I might help ask you maybe ways to get stronger, and if you know anything about the different planes and how they interact with one another.
He nods and says, "I am from the Feywild. I know of other planes, but I do not have the ability to travel."
Oh. How did you come to this place then?
A portal was opened when I was needed, and I arrived.
Was it done by a group of powerful wielders of arcane magic?
It was not. It was simply the call of nature from one plane to the next.
I see.
When you have the ability, you will also be able to utilize this natural ability in the cosmos to traverse these planes. But I cannot teach it to you.
It seems that I've been to planes, other planes, but not maybe. I don't have control over it. And I feel that one plane is maybe putting other things at risk.
The planes strive for balance, and in striving, they cause much trouble.
what is out of balance? How could I see that more clearly?
I cannot speak to that.
Well, I feel that the Shadowfell has some connection to me or other things, and I've inadvertently traveled there, and one of my companions actually went there with me for a brief moment. Was that something similar that you experienced from when you went from the Feywild to this plane?
I cannot speak to that. I do not know what you experienced. I traveled to this plane in both body and mind, though it is possible to travel to other planes in only mind.
I suppose that's true. Do you know of any others that may know more about traveling between the planes?
Only the most powerful and capable of us have that ability and know that knowledge. If you are meant to possess that knowledge, you will gain it as you travel.
Yes.
Nature has a way of showing her servants the path they need to do what they must.
It's true. In every season.
Indeed.
I was wondering if you knew of any things that would help me against our struggle with the dragons in the area. We seek to, well, at least liberate the region from the corruption.
The corruption is no longer set in Kuldahar. It has been undone, thank you to your efforts.
Ah, right.
As for the dragon, all dragons specialize in an element, as you well know. Protection from that element is one of many things that nature can provide.
Yes. A white dragon I know, is one that masters the cold.
Indeed. Being able to resist the cold will prove vital in defeating it.
Yes. Do you know of any other magics that would be helpful for, I guess, the future? We do tend to travel a lot. And I did form, I don't know, it seems like with a bond with the tree here. I have a feeling that I could do that elsewhere, but I haven't had yet the time.
Yes. Every forest, if it is old enough, has a tree at its heart, and if you bond with it, you will gain the ability to move between them.
So just more ancient forests.
Indeed.
Well, I would love to sit and learn from you and your other acolytes while we spend our time here as well. Um,
You are welcome to join in the rituals that we perform here.
okay. Well, that will be refreshing and healing for me in so many different ways. Thank you for your wisdom.
He nods. And I'll just say Vosner follows around the Enclave Dryad or Conclave Dryad as you guys go about doing your rituals and druidic crafting.
Nice.
And if Vosner doesn't have inspiration, he can have inspiration.
Ooh, cool. Yeah, buddy. One inspiration.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing? Still chatting with Mel?
Shivering.
Oh, it's actually kind of warm here. Oh,
Yeah,
but
no, it's
you're
more
all-
like an exhausted 3 levels of exhaustion kind of shiver.
Sure.
Fatally dehydrated.
Yeah, like dehydrated and having muscle cramps all over his body. It's not good. Not pretty.
Okay. So, what's the game plan? You guys are just staying here until everybody's out of exhaustion? Is that the point?
I think so. Izzy's willing to help with some greater restoration.
Okay.
So we might only have to stay one night.
I was just gonna say that the effect of the Kuldahar tree is just gonna be double. So if you stay one night, you will get 2 points of exhaustion removed.
Do we get a point removed for just kind of bumming around all day too?
I'm gonna say you have to do a night's rest.
Okay.
Like 24 hours. Or an evening. Like night sleeping.
If that's the case, then we just need to get one of Johoff's restored, and then we should be good tomorrow.
Yeah, she'll do that.
I think Bosner should be
while they're
at.
chilling at
Oh
the
wait, no,
tree.
he just lost. Never mind.
And she'll also take the time to, I guess, try to scry on Zymorvin. And maybe send some messages. Do a bunch of downtime stuff.
Okay, so I'll say, yeah, just tell me what all you want to accomplish in your sort of down day, and we'll go through those things. I guess maybe we'll start with like the least spying characters. Johoff, what are you gonna do for your whole down day?
Yeah, it's mostly just going to be kind of relaxing and hanging out for Johoff, and he is going to basically go like druid by druid asking for alcohol.
They have kombucha.
LOL.
Fuck!
So it's like a little bit alcoholic. You have to drink a bunch of it.
You can
Well, he'll
almost
get to
taste
work
the
on that,
pain.
but he ain't a buka boy, so he's not gonna be happy. But he'll get to work on drinking as much as he can find.
Yeah, and with your knowledge of brewing, you can like figure out a way to try to ferment it a little bit more. You're trying to like bootleg the kombucha.
You could try to like distill it, like see if you can like tinker up a little distillery.
Yeah, we'll see what we can work on here. I think it's worth trying at least.
Yeah, okay. Well, so Johoff is like with a broken leg and a whatever hand in a cast, working up a distillery to try to turn this kombucha into something more powerful. What is Damon doing?
Damon is just reading his spellbook, going through the new spells that he's learned. And then, if at any point he can, he would probably approach Varel and try and get Varel to teach him some of that sweet time magic, even though, yeah, in terms of the actual game, I don't think he can learn any of it.
Okay. Now, I will say, in terms of the actual game, if at some point you wanted to transition from it's not Warcaster, it's War Magic to Chronergy or something, we could RP it that Bayroll is training you how to do it. But it's up to you. So yeah, you can sort of teach each other stuff. Also, you're both spellbook learning people, so you could teach each other spells. It would just cost gold to encode it into the your spellbook with ink. So any spell that the other person knows, you can pay the cost and basically RP it that you're teaching it to each other.
Beryl is very receptive to eager students of chronergy. So he would unusually enthusiastically welcome those conversations.
What does enthusiasm look like in Barrow?
Sentences stretch on for up to 10 to 12 words.
Nice.
And he talks just a little bit faster.
Yeah, so Damon would approach after going through his own spellbook and getting the things he wants prepared. He would approach Varel and say, Master Varel, I wonder if you might have some time to teach me some of the magic you know, some of these time manipulation spells.
Fortunately, such spells grant me the ability to give myself time to teach. I'd be happy to share what I know.
It is wonderful. I do not have much experience in manipulating time, despite my experience of large quantities of it. But there is one spell in particular, that one that increased my awareness. You've used it a few times. And he's referring to Gift of Alacrity.
Yes, sir. I see.
I wonder if that's something I could master myself.
Should be fairly straightforward. Indeed, it doesn't require any manipulation of time itself, but of yourself. Let me show you. And he'll pull out his grimoire, modest as it is, and turn to the spell page containing Gift of Alacrity, and share it with Damon.
Yeah, I would just start copying it down and studying it. And then trying to, spending time just, practicing it. So I don't know if I should just, use up a few first-level spell slots, just for the sake of mastering that spell.
I'm trying to remember about Chronergy. So the actual, subclass is from, whatchamacallit. It's from Wildemount. It's, Matt Mercer's thing. But I think it says, if I look up the spell, it says Wizard Dunamancy. I think I'm not 100% sure if you can learn it without being a Dunamancy person. I think you might be able to. It doesn't say anything on the Chronergy thing that you only get, nobody else gets these spells. So,
I see. Okay.
I think you can learn it. So if one of you wants to look up to make sure that's kosher, then I'm totally fine with you guys basically paying the gold cost in ink to write the spell into your own spellbook, and then we can count you as teaching it to him.
I'm down with that. I think that's cool.
Yeah, I'm totally down with it. And then I would say in the future, if you guys end up just swapping spells, you might make it one spell a day or something like that, so we don't just have all of a sudden you guys double your spellbook, because it takes a certain amount of time to code it into your spellbooks, and we can actually sit down and do the paper and pencil math, or we can just say whatever, one spell a day you guys can teach each other something.
I'm fine with spacing it out even more than that, because Varel would what's the word? An elitist of chronergy magic, he would insist that Damon practice intently and intensely all of these spells before moving up the ranks.
Yeah, though I think Varel would find that Damon, being as smart as he is super good at learning them.
Excellent.
Like a machine.
Yeah.
He would smile imperceptibly at that. Yeah.
Right on.
Cool.
Cool.
What is Taryn gonna do for this off day?
After talking with Mel, he'll kind of go to like one of the stumps here and kind of sit on it, and just kind of go back to Missile's notes.
Okay. Roll a, I don't know, Arcana check. I guess what are you looking for, or are you just sort of narratively browsing?
It's narratively browsing. I'll re-roll it, but it's the same thing he's
Okay,
been looking
that's
for.
fine.
Like, so what's a soul? How do you do it? What does Missile know about it? That sort of thing.
Yeah, it's the same story you had before. I think you rolled really high.
Yeah.
That's the soul is a thinking thing, and that's the only thing
It's
you
the
can be
rational
sure of.
part. Yeah.
And
he's seeing if there's any references to Yithrin now that he knows he should be looking for Yithrin.
yeah, he notes that Missile's notes say that the solution is in Mithrin, and it says Aureus says that all we need to do is get to Yithrin.
But Missile doesn't know anything other than that about Yithrin that I would know.
Correct. There are no notes on how to get there.
All right. Yeah, that's just his day, like just poking through the notes. And
Yeah, I'll say with that extra, like, just because it's a high roll, you find it probably should have been investigation, but I'm sure it would have been like the same amount or close.
yeah, I think the modifiers are the same.
Yeah. So, long story short, it would have been Missile basically saying that only Aureus knows the entrance.
Okay. Oh, okay. Awesome.
Outside of helping Damon learn Gift of Alacrity and practicing that for the remainder of the day, Vayrol would be up to what I've messaged you directly on Discord, John, to see
Okay.
if that's possible. Write a letter or take that approach. Okay.
And then Vosner's doing the ritual stuff. Is there anything you wanted to add to that? Gert?
I guess just seeing what new things he can learn.
Yeah, I mean, we can just say that anything you learn on this level up, I guess you didn't learn, like, new spells, but, like, narratively, maybe you practiced them and learned them with the Dryads, for the most part.
Yeah, there's a couple spells that resist, like, that are higher level that do resistance. So essentially,
Yeah.
narrative he'll learn.
And I think your fire shield that you have used quite a bit has a mode. I don't know if it's the fire one or the ice one, but it makes you resistant to cold. I don't know if we've talked much about that, but it does have that effect on it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so read that spell. That might be good because it's not concentration, and you always cast it on yourself anyways. So
Yeah.
Place to start for your own character.
Awesome. Yep. So essentially, learning that stuff that will help with the next fight.
Okay. All right. Then I think we're on to Isolde. And who is Isolde messaging, and when and why?
I'm gonna start with scrying.
Sure.
And I'm gonna scry on Morven first, and then on Raynor. But let me cast that in.
Yeah. Very well. when you go to scry on Zymorvin, you experience that similar sensation that you've experienced before, where it feels like the target you are aiming for is protected by some sort of anti-magic or anti-scrying barrier that basically fills your mirror with static.
Okay. Then she will try to scry on Rainer.
Okay. Oh, you're just rolling. Let's see. Wisdom save. Oh, weird. I don't know what happened to my shit. Okay, wisdom save. What does he have to beat? Oh, it's probably more than that, right?
I think my DC is 17.
But you know his
Yeah.
likeness, and you have met the target firsthand. You at least saw him. So I'll say that you get through.
Okay.
And you see, let's see, it has been how many days? You fought that battle, then that morning, then you went to the barbarian camp and stayed the night. So that's one day. Then you went to the Kelvin's cairn and fought all day and then stayed the night, so that's 2 days. And now you guys are arriving sort of at the start of that day still. So it's only been 48 hours, right?
Correct.
Okay, so you find, it's like, I guess we'll say it's around noon. You find Rainer sitting in what you imagine to be his sort of headquarters, which sort of vaguely appears to be like City Hall or something like that. And you see him sitting around a table, sort of listening to reports, sort of muffled in the background. Make a perception roll for me. Yeah. Okay, so you hear reports that the orcs and giants have given up their attack on the city, and that the orcs appear to have dispersed into sort of the north, kind of going in random directions. They seem to have lost all sense of leadership. The giants seem to have also started heading back to Kelvin's cairn and have been seen entering into the Dwarven Valley just this morning. And other things you overhear is that the rebellion has been successfully crushed in town, and that the remaining conspirators are on public display in the town square, and that the church has been purged of all resistance. And you also hear talk that the Father Mateo had been involved in the process, and his name comes up, and they sort of spit when they speak of him. And you hear most of that as Rainer sort of just sits and eats, cuts into a steak, sort of chomping on big bits of it, sort of laughing at their success. And you hear him like issue a command to the rest of his table, telling them to make an announcement that Raynor has defeated the barbarians, has defeated the orcs and the giants, and has slain the white dragon, Arathator, and they are working on printing that and disseminating it to the people of the town. And you overhear all of this very juicy information as the meeting continues during this lunch hour, and then you see a figure walk into the room, sort of walk into view, and she, in an instant, holds up her hand, and your scry goes blank. And that's what you see.
Oh.
What an asshole that guy is.
Yeah. That was good, though. Cool. Alright, she'll send a message to her father, that's pretty generic, just telling him that we are trying to get back to you and the people of Bryn Shander, and that we will come and get him.
The target you are sending that message to appears to be unconscious.
Okay. And then the only other thing that I have planned is sending a message to Master Marin and asking him, have you found any new information about mages that are missing? An ancient dragon has been trying to find a powerful mage partner.
Okay. And you hear in your head, Isolde, it has been a long time since we spoke. I have done some digging, and he keeps sending messages so he can do as long as he wants. And I have found that there is indeed a number of reports. A wizard by the name of Linnaeus went missing from Bryn Shander weeks ago. She seemed to be in charge of some sort of resistance effort in the city, keeping people safe using magical barriers. That is all I could find through our Wizard Alliance members. And then you
That's very
hear
good to know.
in your head, I have heard reports that Arathator, the dragon you sought up north, has been slain. Is this your doing? And do you have the staff?
Yes, Arathator is dead, and we have reclaimed the staff.
Do you plan to return and complete your mission?
We do, yes, but there are a number of people still in danger here that we are trying to help.
You hear a pause. And then you hear, I understand, but no, there will always be people to help, and towns to save. Be careful, or you will never return.
Oh, fuck that guy.
You don't know what he's saying. I just imagine Johop saying that to a dryad who's like taking away his kombucha because he's figuring out what he's doing with it. That was the scene we just cut to with Johop saying, fuck that guy.
Yeah, that's absolutely accurate. Yeah, and then like the dryad like scurries away real fast.
Yeah. He steals the kombucha that you've created and runs off.
Izzy will reply, I understand. Hmm. And she'll say, but it's going to be a little bit longer. We are trying to catch up with Symorvin and save the people of Brinchander.
Okay. I'm trying to remember, when was the last time you checked in with Marin? Is it?
I think she messaged him right after Symorvin disappeared
Yeah.
as Aureus.
Did you tell him
And
about
just kind of told
Aureus?
them, like, I don't think so.
Yeah,
But
I
I
don't
think
think
we
either.
said, hey, we found that guy that you were looking for, but we lost him already. Sorry.
Got it. Okay. So then what was your newest message?
She understands. But we're trying to save the people of Brinchander and catch up with Symorvin.
Again, there's a pause, and he says, Symorvin is capable and his fate is his own. Do not get sidetracked. As for the people of Brinchander, it is a noble mission, but be careful. If you fall and the staff falls into the wrong hands, well, let us pray that that does not happen. You carry a very powerful item. You remember what they did under the guild in Mosstone. Soon people will find out what you have, and they will come for you and it.
I understand. We will return as soon as we can. And that's it for her messages.
Cool. Anybody else want to do anything on the day off? Joe, if you want to roll for your kombucha?
I was gonna say no, but that pun was too good. I gotta roll something.
Thanks. Roll proficiency thing with your, I don't know, you've got like a brewing kit, right?
Yeah, I do. I've never actually used it, I don't think. I don't really know what.
It's probably some sort of int wisdom or charisma. I'm guessing it's int or wisdom. It probably makes sense to be int, but we'll let you do wisdom if you just want to do a wisdom roll plus proficiency.
Alright. Let's see here.
It's like a wisdom ability check, I guess. It's literally just telling Taryn, we never do these. Yeah, it's even higher because it's got your proficiency. So, yeah, you like triple the potency of the kombucha so that it's kind of like a beer.
Yeah. So I will definitely spend much of the rest of the day kind of offering it to the rest of the party. For them's what wants to drink.
Yeah. Technically, you probably should have made that with disadvantage because of exhaustion, but you know what? I want to live in the world where you made kombucha. So
Thanks.
that's what happened.
Also, I can make checks by spending 2 key points. I can remove disadvantage, so we'll just say I did that.
Yeah, you channeled your key to make the booze.
It feels right. It really does.
It really feels on brand.
Izzy will take some booze if it's offered.
Yeah, step right up. I'll fix this shitty drink.
Think a drink is a drink.
That is
No matter
very.
if it's shitty.
So, how goes the role of having to wait a world on your shoulders, eh?
It's going about as good as it ever does, which is not that good.
And
How are
yeah,
you feeling?
oh, well, I feels my age, right? Some kind of weariness is bit at my bones, but I figure between this here drink and this magical fucking tree, I'll be right as rain in a few days.
I wanted to thank you for what you did.
You mean really drowning it?
Yes, for that.
Think nothing of it.
Well, I know the cold isn't exactly your strong suit, so it was quite a sacrifice to jump in like that.
You know, it's kind of growing on me with it.
Oh, good. We aren't quite ready to leave yet, so it's good that you're building up a tolerance.
Yeah, hey, about not leaving, any word on your old man?
I tried to contact him, but it was the same as before. He is either sleeping or unconscious. I don't think he is doing that well.
Look, I will not be the reason that we do not get there in time. I take care of myself. If we need to go right now, I'll do what I has to do.
I appreciate that, but I think we all need some time to recover. It wouldn't do any good to rush in and have you all not operating at your best. My father is my family, of course, but you all are as well.
Yeah, well, I'll get that. That feels very familiar to me.
I would imagine so. But we will get there. We will leave tomorrow morning.
Good. Brain of fucker needs a good old punch in the face.
Yes, actually, I scried on him for a bit. I always knew that he was an awful man, but it is hard to just sit there and watch him be that way.
Well, do what you want when we finally get to fight him, but I highly recommend a good old punch to the face. It just does something that a weapon will not do for you. The instant feedback is incredible.
I'll take your word for it. I'm not as strong as you. I think that it would be quite laughable if I tried to punch him.
I don't think anybody can.
Oh, good. If they do, I will have you take care of them.
Yeah, about that. Right, I said earlier, I think I was needing to leave the party after this. I want you to know, I think that's still the case, but, not maybe for the same reasons anymore. Before I was, perhaps, a bit rash in my condemnation of you guys and your decisions. I apologize for that. Um, but I just think maybe the time has come for me to try to save the world in a different way, for a little while at least.
I understand. I mean, I understood before. What is the new reason, though?
Well, nothing's set in stone, right? But I've been thinking about this area up here and all the war that you've seen, and I know for a fact it's got to be a lot of little shits running around without parents. I grew up. I was thinking of seeing if the townsfolk would be interested in me, setting up a home for little shits.
Up here, in Icewind Dale.
Yeah, well, like I said, the cold is growing on me, right? And what kind of hero would I be if I left a bunch of little shits homeless because I was too chilly?
I suppose that's fair. It's,
Oh.
it's a very good reason, Joe. It's a good reason to leave.
Yeah, well, I mean, leave in a provisional sense of the word, right? I mean, all you've got to do is use that magic he owes and call me, and I'll be right back.
Good, I hope so. It will certainly be nice to know that you are, home. In my hometown.
Yeah, I also, perhaps, I thought it might be nice to have somebody here to keep an eye on, make sure the guild wasn't coming through that portal and trying to take care over the world, right?
I suppose, though I don't think you have to worry about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, a guy can dream, right, about maybe getting a chance to punch that mayor and fucker in the face.
Perhaps, but we have all been through quite a lot. I think we could take him.
Oh, I know we could take him. That's part of why I want to punch him in the face.
Don't think there will be a reason to, but if you enjoy thinking about it, then each their own.
Yeah. Anyway, that's just a provisional side perk of staying up here, I suppose. Really, it's about the little shits. I thought maybe I would even set up a little, training academy for a few of them. Right? Maybe help create some people for when I die in, I don't know, 3 or 5 years. That people could defend the area in my stead.
Sounds like a very good plan. I hope that the town is in good enough shape for you to do that when we are done.
Yeah, well, we've got time, right?
Yeah. And I'm sure that my father will be okay, and he certainly seems to like you. So perhaps he will be able to offer some assistance.
Yeah, well, that and, I'll be keeping an eye on him as well.
Good. It'll make me feel better. I'm not sure where we're going after this, but it is hard to know whether or not we will be back. The whole end of the world thing and all that.
Yeah, I don't put much credence in that. I've already lived through the end of the world once, and it wasn't as impressive as I thought.
I guess that bodes well for you for the second time then.
Both for us, right?
Sure. I will hope so.
Let's say for a second, right, that, we finish all this shit up. You're done. Just for a few minutes. Ain't no more monsters to slay, and you've got time. Where's home these days?
I don't really know anymore. I think I would probably come back here and see if they need me. Or, I don't know. Maybe travel with Damon and fight krakens. I think it would be hard to settle in one place after all we've done.
be.
I feel that I've been given an enormous amount of power. And as much as I would like to go and serve the temple and help the people here, I think that Father Mateo was right when he said that there are other things that I need to be doing. So, I guess I would just try to find what needs to be done. There is no end of that list.
You're better than your gods, you know that?
Maybe better than your opinion of the gods.
Well, I'll tell you what. Next time I see that god fighting monsters alongside me, I will change my opinion. But so far, I've seen you fight monsters alongside over and over and over again.
Well, I'm glad we'll be fighting together a little while longer. And she'll, take out the diamonds and do some greater restoration to help you feel a little better. So it takes away 1 level of exhaustion.
Unsure whether it's the kombucha or the spell, he is grateful either way.
And I will, I'll end our cutscene there if you want. Give other
Yeah.
people time to do stuff. That's good though.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything they wanted to do?
At some point, Varel would want to bring up, given our plans to go back to Bryn Shander, that the barbarians had offered the assistance of a blood guard if we wanted to not go in guns blazing. And so if there's any room in our plans to stop by at the barbarian camp on our way to Bryn Shander to see if they're good to their word.
Say that one more time.
Yeah, the barbarians said they'd give us a blood guard, or that they'd a blood guard could join us if we decided to return to Bryn Shander. And I didn't know if we'd be stopping back at their camp on the way to Bryn Shander to pick up an ally.
It would be the plan.
Okay.
We have to figure out what is the most efficient way to travel.
Fair enough.
How many days travel is it to the barbarian camp?
I think last time it was just the one if we did it on the Eagles.
Yeah, so the way the Eagles work is they travel at 12 miles per hour. That's how we were doing it. But Voss's spell only lasts 1 hour. So you can use them to fly 12 hours straight in the sky. Or 12 miles. But if you want to do it multiple times, you have to cast it multiple times.
I mean, we can do that, but if we get into hot water, my higher level spells would be tapped.
So the basically you guys are now 42 miles away from the barbarian camp, 44 miles. So that would be four casts of it.
Like I
How many
thought, like
times?
the idea would have been, I thought, like, or my idea was we use that to get to the barbarian encampment, and then we pick up the blood guard, and then the next morning we head to Bryn Shander.
Alternatively, you guys are 3 travels away from the Sea of Moving Ice.
Let's leave Isolde's family to die and just hunt the dragon then.
Well, I'll let you guys decide. I'm gonna go get some water. So I'll be right back.
Okay. So, how many times can you cast the eagles there, Vosner?
Depends on what challenge rating they are. Are they 1 or 2?
I think they're 2. They're 5th level spells. So, at least that's how we usually travel with the 5th level spells.
Right. I just need to know the challenge rating of the beasts. Because if I upcast it, I get to summon more.
Their challenge is 1.
Challenge is 1. So if I use a 5th level spell slot, I can summon 4 challenge or CR.
Yeah, that's how we usually do it. And then Vosner is
And then
the
I'm
5th one.
the 5th one. So we would have essentially. We would have 2 of those spell slots, and then I have 1 6th level spell slot, but I kind of want to keep that just in case we get into a fight. Because that doesn't, I mean, unless we do like a long rest after that.
Did we talk about trying to get in contact with the Griffin lady?
Did.
I don't think that does us any good though, because she'd have to fly all the way up here
Yeah.
and then pick us up. And I feel like if we did it by that time, it would be the same amount of time. But if it's 42, how far away are we? Like 40 some?
We're 42 miles away from the encampment.
Okay.
If we had 2 hours of eagle flight, we could get within 18 miles of the encampment. I don't know what our speed is on foot.
I mean, yeah. It's half speed. So I think it's 6 miles a day. Or try. So 12 miles a day. But like, if we want to preserve spell slots, we could go 6 miles in the morning, or 12 miles in the morning if we rush it, and then do the 3 flights afterwards, where we'll be getting to the encampment at the end of the day if we haven't used Vosner's high-level spell slots, right?
So you're saying
like,
we leave on foot from Kuldahar for the first 12 miles, and then...
Right, so like if we double speed in the morning, we risk exhaustion, but otherwise we should be able to make it 12 miles. And then we can fly the rest of the way, which will get us...
You would make
Or
it
I guess we could...
half. Oh, if you double speeded, you could do 12. Yeah.
I guess if we're planning on doing 3 hours, we'd only need to cover 8 miles. And then we'd have 36. Right?
We would only need to cover 6 miles on foot.
Yeah. So if we could just not fuck up
it.
one travel, we would be set.
Big ask. I don't know if we could do that.
Yeah, I mean, if we use both of the 5th level slots, right?
This would take
all
3.
3.
But like we'd use the 6th level spot at the very end of the day, so that unless we get in a fight at the barbarian encampment, you wouldn't be put back any.
All right. So.
I like this plan.
So where are you going?
Yeah, but the one caveat is that I would lose a wild shape for each casting, because I would have to rotate. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But you get...
Yeah, you'll be tapped out at the end of the day, but hopefully the barbarian encampment will be safe.
Okay. Here's hoping.
Or we'll get attacked by Ramoras. You'll use all of your high-level spell slots right off the bat, and this plan will just die immediately.
I'm down with that. Done.
That's
Alright.
the plan, John.
Okay, you're traveling 6 miles in the morning, then 3 casts of Conjure Animals at 12 miles each. So that's a full day of travel, and all of Vosner's wild shapes, and a bunch of high-level spells to fly. Yeah, sweet. So let's do a. Oh, you're rolling those to yourself right now, Dylan, instead of to me.
Oh,
because
okay.
they're
Yeah. I'll
private.
send them your way too.
There is a mod where I can like check that so that I can see all the shit that you guys like would privately message each other. But that's like so Big Brother gross. Like you guys can technically private message each other shit if you want to in the game, though you can do that in 5 other mediums. So what the fuck?
Oh, shit, that wasn't private.
All right, I'm done.
Wait, how do you do that? Like,
It might be /whisper /message or I don't know what
Okay,
the command
that's-
is, but
seems like more work than it's worth then.
got him.
I like this version where we all hear that you're
Damn.
rolling.
Wow.
I can't see it.
roll.
I hope that gets put to good use.
It's not. You guys are traveling
What
today.
you're rolling for, friend.
Okay, so let's do some basic travel. Same setup you always do, I guess. Laurel roll perception. Vosner rolls survival. And who's the weakest link athletics wise? They roll, I guess.
He is pretty gangly. Let me see here.
What's your athletics
Yeah.
at?
10 plus 0.
Sweet. So roll that. Awesome.
Nice.
No.
Nice.
And let me, and then the loudest one, which I would assume is anybody who has the lowest stealth.
Probably
Mine is
Zold.
plus 0.
All right, roll that. Let's look at.
Mine is -1.
Oh well, it's too late. It's already been rolled.
I mean, big clunky robot making a lot of noise.
Yeah. Okay. Let me look up our travel shit. Travel system revised. Okay, so you guys failed the scout. You succeeded the survival. You failed the straggler and the obvious one. So on the scout, got it. On the guide, you don't get lost, so that's good. The straggler, critical failure. Barrel, as you guys are traveling through the frozen tundra, you are overcome by the elements and suffer 1 point of exhaustion.
Cool.
And Damon. Okay. Let me load up a scene. 1 second.
Please don't.
As long as we're not in a frozen lake this time.
Yes. Means that water is our perpetual nemesis.
It seems to be. You guys are not great at it.
Like, we can fuck up dragons, but if there's a small pond,
Or a giant ocean.
If you
full of
guys want
crab.
to, if you guys want to take a quick bathroom break or something, I need to load up what's happening to you.
Cool. See you in 3 to 5.
Yep. Oh, you guys did get a long rest, so all of your exhaustion should be gone. I'll remove this.
Beryl got his during the next day, though, right?
Correct, so I'm adding that.
Okay.
No worries. I just realized I had you guys still on that other screen. I was like looking at the map the whole time. Okay. I'm still waiting on Dylan, I think.
I'm assuming this is actually going to be a nice encounter of like a nice merchant trying to sell us stuff.
Yeah. Probably. Let's see.
Those cursed objects to steal our souls? Yes.
Vanderhop's Revenge. Vanderhop 2.
Can't remember where
It's
that.
adapted to the north.
Oh, it was this one. Caverns. Yeah, I like this one.
Ooh, spooky.
It's uneasy. Good generic background music. Yeah, I am pretty.
Anyway, we'll have to head out at 5 to go pick up our doggies.
Okay, so that's 45 minutes.
It's okay if it's like 5:10, but
Okay.
nothing after that.
Easy enough. Thanks to everybody for starting later. That was I got to do little lunch thing with Natalie and her folks.
Cute.
I know. She turned 30
Also
on
running around
Wednesday.
with nieces all weekend sounds cute.
That was also pretty great. And exhausting. Oh my god. We hung out with them for like 6 hours in the morning, and then Natalie and I had to both go take like a 2-hour nap. It's a lot. Okay.
I'm prepared to never sleep again.
Are you though?
Studies show that
No.
in 20 years you'll be doing better than the rest of us, so the lack of sleep now pays off later.
There you go.
Sure.
Ready for it.
Okay, so I think everybody's back. So what happens is, as you guys are walking, you notice in front of you a crevice that you have to navigate. And as you guys are sort of just starting to kind of talk about what your next move is, if you want to just hop over it or make a small bridge or use magic or something, out of the trees in the stone above you, you hear the cracking of branches as something leaps from the rock platforms on either side of you. And we are going to go into combat. Not that one. This one. It's literally crossing the chasm. Perfect. Oh, I was wondering why it was so loud. I had it playing on both. Okay, that's a better volume. Okay, so these massive figures pop up on both sides of you. Let's go into initiative. And, do any of you have feats or abilities that prevent you from being surprised? Seeing none, I'm going to begin with a surprise round. Oops, maybe Tim's not back yet.
I'm back. It's just my computer was being weird, so I'm reloading Foundry.
Oh, no worries. Do you have a thing that prevents you from being surprisable?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't think so. No.
Okay. I'm just gonna click initiative for you. I made you roll real bad. So combat begins, and the first turn, you guys do not get to go. Bayroll, you spend the turn being surprised.
Cool.
As a massive Yeti comes out of nowhere. And let me check to see how many attacks he gets. 2 claw attacks. He uses his claw on Terran. Whoa, that was really big. I guess it makes sense. And then he uses his Chilling Gaze. And Terran fails the saving throw. The target must succeed on a DC 18 Constitution saving throw against this magic, or take 22 or you take.
So,
Oh, you're.
someone's super immune to cold damage.
Yeah,
right now, so.
you are immune to cold, so you don't take that damage. But oh wait,
I don't think I'm paralyzed either, based on
yeah,
the reading.
you aren't. So he tries to paralyze you, and your staff sort of like deflects the magic around you as it like splits the beam from his eyes. And the other Yeti goes hopping down on the other side of Isolde and swinging at her with his claws. then also hitting her with a chilling gaze, which she fails, making her take whatever the damage I just rolled, which was 22, and paralyzing her. Can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on a successful saving throw. So it's a Constitution save at the end of each turn. So Isolde is paralyzed. Damon, you are up.
Do I get a turn or am I surprised?
Oh, sorry, it is surprise. So it goes back
Okay.
around to Varel. You are up.
Cool. Let's see here. Points to Robit. So the nearest Yeti, I'm gonna cast Phantasmal Killer, and I'm gonna force it to roll a 2.
Ooh.
And I fill its mind's eye with an image of that Yeti drowning in a boiling hot spring that it almost slipped into as a child, and so I throw it back there, and in fact now it lives through the experience of falling into that boiling hot spring. Yeah.
And it is now frightened, I believe, of you? Or I
think so.
always forget this. So it can't move closer to you. Okay. And technically this other Yeti goes first. And because Isolde is paralyzed, it has advantage, and any hits on Isolde are criticals, I believe. So it is going to swing at advantage. And miss, and swing again. Oh! Okay, so
Sure.
I'm gonna say he comes in swinging at Isolde and hits her twice with his massive arms as she is paralyzed. I'm gonna say it doesn't do any damage to her, but because it hits her armor, it just sends her flying out of the way, but her armor protects her from any of the damage. And it runs towards the group. And he's going to use his gaze on Johoff to see what he's got. Yeah, he's going to use his gaze on Johoff, who is now paralyzed. And it is this other Yeti's turn, and he is now frightened. Let's click on the frightened thing. A frightened creature is disadvantaged on all ability checks and attack rolls while the source of its fear is within line of sight. The creature cannot willingly move closer to its source of fear. Okay, so it is afraid, and it is going to claw at Terran, I guess with disadvantage. Singing twice, hitting only once. And it is now Damon's turn.
At the end of its turn, it's got to roll a wisdom save.
It's also
going to
force chilling gaze on Terran.
Okay.
Who is
Terran's
going...
still super mutant.
Oh yeah, fuck. Okay. Well, anyways, wasted, but that's fine. And yeah, it has to roll a what save? Sorry.
Wisdom save, but I'm gonna make it roll a base of 7. I don't know if there's any addition.
No, that's enough to keep it down.
Okay.
So it fails, and it takes how much?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Its mind, like, he's like holds his head and screams out as blood pours out of his eyes and ears.
Lovely.
And it is Damon's turn.
Damon goes into haste mode, and then comes around this way. Oh, my game is paused, I guess.
Sorry about that.
No, that's alright. I'm gonna sprint around
to get between this thing and Isolda, and then swing at it ineffectively, and just get geared up for my next turn.
Okay. Johoff, it is your turn. You are paralyzed. At the end of your turn, make a Constitution saving throw. Nice. Johoff snaps to, no longer paralyzed. That is his whole turn.
Pissed.
Isolda, make a Constitution saving throw. Nice. You too snap out of it, and you are now immune to the paralyzed. Darren, it is your turn.
Alright, I'm going to burn a meta magic point to use a bonus action to use my breath weapon on this guy.
And he makes the save.
Was he immune to the cold damage?
Yes.
Okay, that's annoying.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
sure. Being immune to cold, that's so annoying.
In that case, what I'm gonna do is use my action to cast Chain Lightning
Okay.
on these two guys.
Phew. What does it look like?
So Terran has his wand in one hand and his staff in the other, and he kind of like pulls a lightning bolt out of his staff with the tip of the wand, and then throws it at the head of the Yeti in front of him, and it arcs over to the head of the other Yeti.
Damn. You smell the fried the fried body of this Yeti as he howls in pain. Both of them, a lightning bolt arcing between the two Yetis over the top of Johoff and Darren. And Vosner, it is your turn.
Awesome. So Vosner will cast Flame Shield, and he's going to choose it to make or deal fire damage instead of cold damage.
Okay.
I get to choose. So you just sort of see this like little red hue around him. And then he'll... Alright, well, whatever reason I did damage to myself.
I fixed it.
Okay, cool. So then he'll bonus action turn into a wolf.
Okay.
And I think that's all I can do, right?
Yeah. Varel, it is your turn.
Yeah. So Varel's going to turn his attention to the other Yeti, and just try to get rid of it with Disintegrate. Oh, so close!
That roll. Good lord, it was mostly sixes.
That's awesome.
That's the highest damage roll I've ever seen.
He is very perceptibly grinning, like you've never seen him cheese like this before. So he's having a good time.
Yeah. You completely piss this Yeti off. And he turns to you and, let's see, does a cold breath. What the fuck does that do? Why did that? Yeah, so that should be a cone.
Okay. I'm gonna roll a 20 to save. No, I'm not. Never mind.
Yeah, so it should be 30-foot cone here. So Daryl, you take.
Yeah. Oh, whoops.
You take 33 cold damage. Johoff, roll a Constitution saving throw. And Vosner, roll a Constitution saving throw.
I temporal shunted him. I don't
Oh,
like that.
oh, okay. So he has to make a Wisdom saving throw.
Correct. DC's 18.
Oof.
How smart is this?
Not.
Yeah.
He blinks out of existence. So you eviscerate him with magic, and then the second he like roars at you to spew cold at him, you blink him out of existence, and he disappears. And the second Yeti goes, and he will also roar in unison and do the same thing, but from this direction. So Terran breathes cold on him, and so he breathes cold back. And let's do. Everybody makes a Constitution saving throw. Terran, you're immune, so it doesn't matter. But Johoff succeeds. So Johoff takes 22 damage, I guess, but that's not halved because it's not a dex save, I don't think. And then Great Wolf succeeds, DC 18, yeah. And Varel, you take 44 cold damage. And make a concentration check on your killer.
I'll leave.
Why were you at disadvantage?
Because I am at exhaustion 1.
No, that doesn't affect.
That's just ability checks, not saving throws, I think.
But you did roll a 1 on your first roll, so
You got it.
that's the one that.
Well,
Could I use a reaction to summon the ice barrier right in front of his mouth and take the first 30 of the damage, or does it not work for that?
I think it would be too tricky if we started applying that to breath weapons, because breath sort of goes around the barrier.
Okay, that's fair.
Oh no.
Yeah, everybody disconnected on my screen.
Yeah, I got 404.
Oh shit, it broke. Okay, try it again.
Promising.
Is it working?
It's loading. I see the Foundry template, but nothing has loaded in yet.
I could restart Foundry if you want.
I think I'm in.
I think I'm in.
I think it's loading, it's just going a little slow for me.
Well, I read somewhere recently that the way Foundry works is that it loads, like when you guys load in, your computers load all of the assets that I have sort of readily available. And so because I have so many tokens and like characters and scenes all like built into the game, it's like your computers are having to load all that shit. So I'm not optimizing the back end of this very well.
I'm back in.
I'm in as well.
Okay, yeah, I got 2 in. Cool.
Peter test.
So he lets out that breath. Bosner, I think, succeeded. So he took 22 as a wolf.
But I'm also
yeah, so you
cold.
take 11. And Beryl takes 44.
Okay.
And fails the con save, and so the guy is no longer afraid Z's.
Could I re-roll that with Chronal Shift?
Oh. Does that take a reaction? 'Cause
Yeah.
you did just bamf a guy out of existence.
Oh, well, wasn't that a previous turn?
No, it's still the same turn.
Oh, got you. Okay, so only one reaction through the whole turn cycle. Understood.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, you take that, lose concentration. The guy is no longer scared of you. And he's going to step towards Feral. And then it is Damon's turn. You back in?
Seemed to be loading, and then all of a sudden it cut to a 504 gateway timeout. But I can tell you that
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I could restart the whole thing if you guys want.
Otherwise I can just keep trying, and I can tell you that my whole turn was just going to be, just to walk up and swing at that guy, the remaining Yeti, twice.
Well, there are.
After watching a Yeti get almost completely disintegrated and then vanish.
Yeah. Okay, so the one that's still in the room, basically, you're going to swing at.
Yeah.
Okay. You hit with your flaming sword. And Johoff, you're up.
I'll swing again if he's not dead.
Oh, you're hasted. I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hit a second time for even more damage, and he is almost dead. Johoff, you are no longer paralyzed.
Yeah, so my thing is not letting me in. It's 504 gateway time. But, I'm going to go up and hit him with my hammer. And punches if it doesn't go down with the hammer.
Yeah, the hammer kills him.
Nice.
So how would you like to kill him with your hammer?
Yeah, so I think I'm just gonna nail him like right in the chest with it. Just run forward, both hands on the hammer, swing it down, crush his like chest in.
Okay, I'm restarting the world, by the way.
Holy shit, that's a big deal.
Well, I mean, God powers, it's pretty easy.
Doesn't God do that every second, like in this world?
Depends on who you ask. So, Johoff jumps up and crushes the chest in of this Yeti, who falls backwards, and Johoff's sort of standing over top of him with the hammer breaking the sternum of the Yeti, who lies cold and dead on the ground. And behind you, the wind sort of gusts in the place where the previous Yeti was, sort of waiting for his return. Isolde, it is your turn.
Okay. I'm just gonna pull it up on Twitch real quick so I can see. Is the only one that's left alive the one next to Feral?
No, there's one that's alive but bamfed out of existence right now.
Oh. I will hold a sacred flame, and I will move and stand behind Damon.
Okay. Taryn, what do you do?
I will stay put and prep an Eldritch Blast.
Okay. Vosner.
Yeah, Vosner's just gonna get ready to bite it when it returns.
Okay, and the Temporal Shunt, it returns at the end of your turn, Feral?
So my Foundry's not loading. Let me check my D&D Beyond here.
Yeah, sorry. The target does not remember. Sorry. At the start of its next turn, the target reappears where it was. So
Okay.
You have your turn. What do you do?
I'll hold the Toll the Dead with the D12 for when it comes back.
Okay.
Or the Death Knell, rather.
And it comes back, and as it does, it gets crushed by an Eldritch Blast, Sacred Flame, Death Knell, Bite from a Wolf, as it only has 3 hit points. And all of those things just rip into it. and tear it apart as you guys sort of in a symphony of destruction all coordinate your attacks and obliterate this Yeti and combat.
Barrel's very
I like
pleased.
Symphony of Destruction.
New squad name? Question mark.
Yeah, definitely the name of the squad's first album.
And you guys are back to traveling. And the rest of the travel, I'll say, is uneventful. As you guys take flight. And did you guys want a short rest before you get to the barbarian camp?
Yeah.
So,
I think we'll have
Go
to
ahead.
for Vosner to have enough.
yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do that. So, one short, please.
I'd like to as well, but I'm still getting 504'd, and I'm not sure.
Really? Because I restarted it.
Yeah, I'm having
Yeah,
trouble
same.
getting into.
I tried reloading it and it's just stuck loading. Like from the link in Discord.
Same.
Oh, I got a new IP for you. Hold on.
God has kept us out.
Posted it in general chat or general banter or whatever.
Is there a cow outside your window or something?
No, it's randomly generated.
Oh, sick.
Random.
You Iowans and your cows, I tell you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's pretty regional.
Iowa has all of the .cow based IPs.
We're loading now. Seems to be, at least.
Good.
I think I'm back in, yeah.
I just got through the login screen.
Fully loaded in. Some dead Yetis.
Okay. Yeah, you guys have moved on the map of Bryn Shander or Icewind Dale just a little bit closer towards your destination.
And we short rested, correct?
And yeah, it looks like you guys are stopping for a short rest.
Are we like successfully short resting or?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've killed the only threat in this area.
Sorry for the incoming hit die.
It's fine. That's what it's for.
Get to look at my pretty purple die.
They're very pretty. I love how everybody has very particular dice. I could always tell who's rolling.
That's a sweet mod, by the way.
Yeah, I think it's one of the better ones. That one and the animations for attacking and stuff really like bring the whole thing to life.
Yes, sir.
Pretty dope. So, Laurel, you're gonna have to just make these dice now for our next in-person session.
Real life copies.
I'm pretty sure Laurel's already made my real life copies of these, so.
Yeah.
I'm retired.
I need updated ones. I need more jungly.
Okay. So I'm just throwing you guys to the map of Icewind Dale. You are now where are you going? The barbarian camp?
Yeah.
36 miles or so from it.
Yep.
Okay, and so you're just gonna fly 3 times over the top of Kelvin's Cairn?
Yep.
Got it. Let's...
Can I make a perception check as we go over to see what's going on there?
Sure. Let's see, the first 12... The first 12 miles go without trouble. You land and resummon more eagles with Gert's ability. Make sure you're marking these off for the day. So that's 1 5th level summon animals. And then
Yeah, I am.
as you're flying over the Dorn Valley, let's see. Terran, roll a perception roll. Johoff,
Yeah.
roll me a d20.
I just did. It's 20.
Okay. As you're flying over the Dwarven Valley, what you see down in the valley are a number of frost giants sort of lumbering back towards the entrance to Kelvin's Cairn.
And they don't look like they're massing. It's like they're going home type of thing.
It looks sort of like they are regrouping at the inside the mountain. They're coming from sort of all different directions. They're all sort of coming from the different cities that had been sacked.
All right. Cool.
And down into the valley. And then you guys go the last 12 miles to the place. Cool.
It's the plan.
No objections. I will send you to the barbarian camp. I got you guys all the way over here. You guys walk in sort of as you normally do, and walk past the guards who sort of nod and step aside, saying various greetings, well met, and other things. As you begin to approach once again the figures at the barbarian leadership. And as you stroll in, Berkthar stands and approaches you and sort of like puts out a big hand.
Hello again.
He puts down his hand. Hello.
Oh. Is he trying to shake my hand?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll shake his hand.
Okay. Make a strength roll.
I thought he put his hand up like
Oh
waving.
yeah. Make a strength saving throw or a roll or whatever the fuck you want.
Oh no.
Oh,
Nice.
he his hand is so massive and crunching by default, but you actually give it back to him pretty tough, and he looks at you with a very newfound sense of complete respect.
Nice.
And then he goes, "What brings you here?"
We have come to hopefully collect some allies to finally try to see if we can liberate the people of Brynshender.
He sort of shakes his head. Brynshender is no longer penetrable.
Maybe not by the barbarians alone, but together, certainly.
He sort of looks at you and says, "When last we spoke, you had told us that you had destroyed the external threat to the north. We are grateful, but if this is true, we have no need to liberate the people of Ringender."
What about Raynor? He's still keeping them there.
Well, if you are willing to kill Raynor, we will not stop you. But war is no longer an option.
If we do manage to infiltrate the city and can get to Raynor, would you be willing to, when I send you a message, bring some of the people back to their homes from the caves?
All who are willing may return.
Thank you. And those in the city that wish to leave and join you? About them?
They are welcome.
Good. Well, if you would permit us then to stay the night, we plan on going to the city in the morning.
Why not attack at night? Defenses are weaker.
I suppose that is true.
Wagner will step forward and he'll say, some of my most powerful magic is already spent. We would be at a disadvantage.
He nods. Oh god, did you all disconnect again?
Yeah, just got back though.
Oh, weird. He nods and says, "I will not tell you how to make your fight." Very well. You are welcome to stay and eat. And strike out in the morning.
Much appreciated, thank you.
And did you tell him you were going to kill the giants?
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what you left off with him.
Yeah, we told him we were.
Okay, I guess he would say, damn, keep saying you all disconnected. Let me look up one thing. We can sort of wrap up here. He looks at all of you and says, "None of you carries the weapon of the Jarl."
Are you talking about the king of the giants?
Yes. His weapon, none of you wield it. Why have you left it?
We were not able to kill all of the giants, but we were able to come to an accord with them that they would not attack Icewind Dale.
A frost giant cannot be trusted, king or not.
Well, at the time we were in no position to fight them, but if they are looking to break their promise, they will find us in a different sort of condition, so that is a choice for them to make.
Very well. Your words disappoint me, but I understand.
She looks a bit put out by that.
he...
If it provides any further confidence, I believe that we freed a captive forge who was armoring them. They will be significantly weaker should they choose to attack again.
What being would forge armor for frost giants?
I myself do not know, but we have reason to believe it may have been a captive fire giant. It was certainly a large entity.
He spits in the snow.
He says, a fire giant has no right to live, just as a frost giant has no right to live. I will warn my troops that there is a fire giant on the move in the tundra.
It said that it was going home. Do you know where home is for something like a fire giant?
There are a number of dwelling places which bring forth the magma from the earth. That is where they tend to reside, forging their weapons. But many of them are far from here, with the exception of the heart of that mountain.
Interesting. I wonder how it came to be there.
Frost giants and ice and fire giants squabble. It is very possible he is the result of a long drawn-out conflict.
Well, I hope that his freedom does not cause trouble for your troops.
As do I.
I think we will rest now, and you will wish us luck for the morning.
Indeed, if you need anything from me, please do not hesitate to ask.
Do you have any supplies that maybe were taken from some of the other towns? Anything that could be of use to us?
The supplies from the other towns are distributed amongst the people and the residents of those towns who came with. They are not for me to give. If you can think of something
Understandable.
specific, I can see what I can do to acquire it.
Well, healing potions, if you have come by any. I know they are rare in these parts.
Rare and important for the war effort. Unfortunately, they have been handed out and consumed by many of our troops.
Fair enough.
Says, well, again, if I can do anything to help, please do not hesitate. I will be here.
And he walks back to his throne.
I guess we'll go back to our hut.
Okay.
What time of day is it?
That's a great question. You traveled for 4 hours, and then you fought some things, and then you traveled for 3 more hours. So that's split over the day. I'd say it's like 5 p.m.
Might be worth having a conversation as to whether we would possibly want to strike in the middle of the night, or at least in the early hours of the morning.
If you guys
Is
prep to do like a night mission, I'll allow you to do like a sleep early day thing to like get there before dawn or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because we have to sleep for 8 hours. Right?
Yeah.
Right. So getting up at 1 in the morning gives us the best time of night to get there. It's only like 2 miles away.
Yeah, it's not far.
So yeah, we could easily be there by, 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, even after 8 hours of sleep. Assuming we go right to bed right now.
It's
think that would be
technically
the best plan.
6 miles away. So it'd be a half an hour on the back of an eagle.
How long would it be walking?
4 hours.
Would lose the morning.
Alright, so eagles might be a good bet. Are you cool with that, Bosner? You'd be down a wild shape and a 5th level spell.
Yeah, that would be pretty tough, but you guys would have to carry the majority of the weight in combat.
Do you have other wild shapes, or is that like a one and done type thing?
I have 3, but we would have to short rest in between each of those times for me to get those wild shape back.
Got you.
So, like, if you wanted me to like have 3 wild shapes going into combat, you would have to wait an hour. So.
I don't think it's a huge... Is it a huge difference? You having 3 versus 2? Like, is it worth us getting there at 1 a.m. and then lying in wait for an hour?
I mean, it's up to you guys. I mean, 1 a.m. to 2 a.m., it's still in the middle of the night. So.
Like, we could, like, first fly there, then try to get in, and then, like, evaluate it there. Like, if it looks like there's a good place to hunker down, we can hunker down, and if not,
Yeah.
just be aware.
This is primarily a rescue mission, right, for your father?
Primarily. Though, it would be very nice to, murder Raynor.
Okay, got you. Perhaps we could do both without encountering much in the way of, combat. And I guess Vero would also want to question Izzy whether we're okay with not taking Berthgar up on the earlier mention of a blood guard assistant. If we're going in stealthily, having a blood guard in our ranks would be incredibly helpful, I think.
He made it sound like he was not interested in helping anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, haven't we done him somewhat of a favor by eliminating the frost giants? Like, do we have any leverage to ask for a favor or recompensation?
He certainly didn't make it sound like we did.
Right. He's skeptical that the frost giants are actually gone.
Fair enough. All right, so we can let that slide. Vero wouldn't pressure that too much. But he would still insist that a stealthy approach, or maybe split it. Some of it. Well, we don't want to split the party, but take out Raynor and rescue your father in one fell swoop, and that's about it.
What time is it again?
5-ish.
5.
Yeah,
5-ish?
apparently 5-ish.
Well, here's an idea. We can walk for however many hours till it gets dark, and essentially camp out, and then we don't have to worry about burning wild shapes or extra spell slots. How far can we get in 5 hours? Or
You guys already
4 or 5 hours.
traveled for the whole day, so it would be like a forced march situation to do more travel today.
And that would give up the possibility of going in the night.
Yeah, you'd have to roll for exhaustion to travel again today.
Okay.
And you'd still have to get into the city.
So then, rest now, travel in the morning, get to Bryn Shander and evaluate whether we should take that short rest to get the wild shape. or whether we can go about our secret business without that.
Yeah, we might be able to get to her family's inn and see if there was any messages or supplies or anything left by members of the resistance or anything like that.
Smart.
I would say that's the plan.
Okay. And I guess you guys have to go now?
Yeah.
Okay, so we will pick up next week with the assault on Bryn Shander, a stealth mission.
Will
Maybe.
not go very badly.
We could get
Or,
to the gates and blow
or
them
it's
open.
a fight an entire city of guards mission. One of the two.
Does Vero have Dimension Door?
I do. And invisibility, and telepathic bond, so we can always be in communication with one another mentally.
Because Damon also has Dimension Door, which means if there's like gates or whatever, walls, you and I could each take one extra person, I think, and that gets 4 of us into the city already.
Ooh la la.
I have Misty Step,
So-
so I might
That's
be
only
And
able
far
to.
30
step.
feet, though. Yeah.
Far step is 60 though. So
And
that
Dimension Door is 500.
I can run
Nice.
10 feet further now, so what I got.
Hey.
We're gonna sprint in, grab your dad, sprint out. No question.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well,
all
I
right.
And
do have
maybe-
a
worst
a
case
spell that
scenario,
can
you
help me
guys get to
locate
see
him.
your favorite thing in action, a giant ballista.
Yeah.
Cool. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ready for it. And I'll see you guys in a week, if not sooner.
All
Sounds
right,
good.
see ya.
Looking forward
Bye,
to it.
everybody.